you, Jonas, and good morning to all of you. Allow me to take a moment to share my screen. So there is still somebody sharing their screen, so it says you cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing. So, okay. Voila, I think that should do it. So welcome everybody. Good morning to this session on trustworthy AI in smart cities and communities. So, well, we all know that AI is a very promising and interesting topic for different types of applications in different teams, let's say. Among which, of course, smart cities and communities. So, but if these applications are to be successful in our smart cities and communities, of course, then the AI algorithms need to be trustworthy. So if we're going to have autonomous vehicles and drones flying around in our cities, we really want to be sure that we can trust these things. And what better way to make sure that we can trust them and evaluate whether our citizens can trust these things than to actually deploy them in real world environments. And that's actually one of the main ideas behind the TEF, the testing and experimentation facilities for smart cities and communities. And that's also why today's main focus of this session will be on the upcoming TEF for Smart Cities and Communities program by the European Commission. So this is how today's session will look. So a small introduction, then there will be an introduction of the upcoming TEF for Smart Cities and Communities called by Jan Huckman of the European Commission. After that, there will be an introduction or an explanation of the Danish plans for the TEF SCC by Morten Rasmussen, followed by an explanation of the Slovenian plans by Andrea Lampe and Samo Zoric, which will then be followed by an introduction to the Spanish plans by Ramon Ferri. After that, we will have some time for some Q&A. So if you followed the other sessions by now, you know that the Zoom platform also has a Q&A feature. So please feel free to use that. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can towards the end of the session. Voila. Just to tell you that I am Tanguy Koenen. I work for IMEC. IMEC is an RTO that is operating out of Belgium, so a research and technology organization. And my job there is to work as a strategist on digital transformation. So we do a lot of work in smart cities and communities. We work a lot on AI. We're also very interested in the TEF program. Voila, that's about me. And now, without further ado, let me introduce Jan Huckman, who is a policy officer in the A1 unit, Robotics and Artificial Intelligence, Innovation and Excellence of DG Connect, where he works on different policy and research initiatives. Among others, he coordinates the upcoming sectorial AI testing and experimentation facilities under the Digital Europe program. Voila, Jan, the floor is yours. So take it away.
Yeah, I think you just need to stop sharing so I can share. I already tried. And then I can share my screen.
Yes, sharing now.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Or not yet? Yeah?
Nope, not yet.
No, not yet. Okay, let me try that again. Share screen. How about now?
It's coming, it's coming. It's taking a while to load, but I'm sure it will be okay. Yeah, there it is.
Well, perfect. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about our initiative. Just before I start, I just wanted to say that I'm replacing my head of unit, Cécile Houet, who couldn't join because of the current evaluations of new Horizon Europe programs. Projects. So that's why it's me talking, but she sends her wishes. Yeah. So with this said, I will start with the presentation, so and let me start with why we are funding these TEFs, as we call them. So it's sectorial AI testing and experimentation facilities, in short, TEFs. And basically, what we want to do here is we want to support sort of the testing and experimenting of state-of-the-art AI soft and hardware in real-world environments, and really at scale. And the idea is that we're trying to do so because it's an important step in bringing the technology to the market. And in terms of who we're trying to support is, of course, at the end of the day, we're trying to support those technology providers that are working on these AI solutions. So it's really, in the first instance, it's trying to help those that will help bring European AI made in Europe. But of course, the grants that we're going to provide in the upcoming call is for the existing technology infrastructures. And what we're trying to achieve with this call, with these TEFs call, is to support world-class reference infrastructure at EU level, and also to sort of boost the cross-border collaboration among them. And at the end of the day, and that's of course important for our directorate in DG Connect, the A directorate, it's really about everything has to do for us about improving the uptake of trustworthy AI that is in line with our values and also regulatory initiatives, of course. So this is why we're doing these calls. Sort of now let me discuss briefly on what this actually will be. So as I said, it should be a world-class reference site for testing and experimenting AI solutions. It should be in real settings. Smart cities and communities is one of the areas where we'll have a call. There are 3 others, as you can see from the slide. And of course, we're trying to embed this into this ecosystem of excellence with other initiatives that we're also funding. So there are, of course, the digital innovation hubs. There are new there are calls on the Digital Europe program for the European Digital Innovation Hubs, which are targeted specifically at AI. And of course, we expect them to collaborate among others to create links. But there are also a host of other relevant projects that the EU is funding, and that we expect the TEFs to set up links where relevant, of course. And we also expect these TEFs to be equipped with the right infrastructure and the right expertise. Having relevant data sets for AI testing, but also having the right cloud providers, high performance computing, and the like. And so really what the call will do, and so really to give a bit more examples of what we envisage, is that in these TEFs, they will allow these technology providers, these AI technology providers, to validate all aspects of their solution in real conditions. These TEFs should act as a common resource that is open and gives fair access to everyone that has relevant AI solutions that it wants to be tested. And these tests will be limited in number. So this is a bit of a difference to, for example, the hubs, where in every member state there's at least one, whereas for the TEFs, and you will see, let me go to the next slide, you see already for the amount of funding that is available, this is not possible. We foresee 20 million in the case of smart cities and communities, 20 million euros for the area. And this is to be chopped up by at member state level. So overall, the budget for the 4 to 5 years should be will be at 40 million for the smart cities and communities TEF. We foresee, and this is an indicative figure, that per physical location, per facility, 5 million from the EU side and another 5 from the member side. So that means 10 million over the duration of the project. And as I said, at member state level. And I say this specifically because ideally the other 50% would come from a public funding source, but also private investment is possible. But there, of course, because it is, these TEFs should be a common resource. Special attention should be paid to make sure that when these technology providers do come to the test and want to test the AI, that they have trust that in terms of IPR and ownership, everything is set up, and that they really benefit from using these tests. So that's of course very important for the success of this initiative. And then there's a let's say an important aspect of the upcoming calls is this idea of a network, because as we were listening to the community over the last years, we really noticed that we got the feedback that given the funding that we have, and given also the work that is going on, that ideally these different nodes or these different facilities would be talking amongst each other, and so that's why we've basically decided to go for a network approach, which basically means that if you remember the grant that with the amount of 20 million from the EU side, this will be given to one project that will be set up with 4 facilities. Again, this 5 million per facility. This indicative number is how we come up with number 4. And together they would then sort of come up with a common idea, strategy on how to offer these testing services for AI solutions. We have introduced these terms of nodes and satellites, which can be maybe sometimes let's say maybe a bit confusing to some, but in a sense, what's important to remember when we speak of nodes and satellites is that basically nodes is a big facility, which would have 5 million from the EU side, and satellites is just a smaller facility. And there it's up to really the proposal to think about what amount would be best to really maximize the impact of this initiative. And so as we say, for nodes in the smart city and communities network, and that means ideally it should be in 4 different member states. Yeah, and so in terms of to give you sort of an idea on how the process would work. So first, the proposals would build a consortium and secure a commitment from the member state. There we've already helped in the last last year in November with first info day to explain the concept, but also to give an overview of member states that have expressed an interest in co-funding, which is non-binding, but on the website that I'll give you a link to afterwards, you can look at this table to see which member state is willing to fund smart cities and communities TEFs. And then, of course, once you've built up your consortium, you then apply to the call that will be launched on the 22nd of February, and the commission in the usual procedure where we have independent experts evaluate the proposals and then select the highest ranked proposal. And just because of time, I'm already slightly over the 10 minutes. I will just give at the end, I have 2 more slides. I will give one example of smart cities to give you an idea of how we see this node and satellite network setup. And again, I really emphasize this is an indicative example. We don't want this specific setup. It's just I basically took the examples that were named in the current work program and just include those as the nodes as an example. And so basically what we're trying to show here is that basically it's these different nodes that work together that can work with satellites on their own, or satellites. So these smaller facilities can work with different nodes. For example, if they want to provide, these high performance computing services, and so as a whole, that they offer these testing and experimentation services to AI technology providers. And so again, since we're slightly over time, I'll just quickly go through the last slide in terms of the next steps. So on the 15th of February, the call will be published under the Digital program. Of course, it's the second set of calls that is being launched, and then on the 22nd, it's the launch of the call. On the 28th of February, this is still TBC, we're trying to organize an info day to help everyone to how to write the proposal. So more information will be coming shortly. You can monitor our website that I've given below for any information, or write us in case you have specific questions. And then just last, of course, the call would end on the 17th of May. That's it exactly for me. So I will stop sharing my screen, and then I look forward in answer any questions. Again, generally on the concepts, I'm happy to answer any questions on smart cities and communities. I will collect the questions and see them with my colleagues. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Jan, for this very insightful presentation. And the TEF program is really very interesting. So looking forward to further engaging on that. So the next speaker is Morten Rasmussen, who is a senior project manager in Gate 21. This is a member organization for municipalities and private companies in the eastern part of Denmark. He manages smart city projects with a focus on the green digital transition, and he has been involved in more failed than successful smart cities implementations, and is not afraid to admit it. With that, thank you, Morten, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, and I hear that the rumors travel fast. Well, you can hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
we can. We
Okay,
don't see your slides, though.
No, but I will try to share this. So can you see the slide?
Yes, loud and clear.
Well, then I will just throw myself into it. Well, thank you for letting me speak, first of all. And I will try to introduce the Danish TEF and the current state of our work in the next few minutes here. So for the past 6 months, we have been trying to identify the primary stakeholders, the key partners, and exploring the overall scope of a potential Danish TEF. So obviously, we have also been trying to identify our strength and our weaknesses in this process. So what we found, I just need to see if I can change the slide. What we found focusing on our strengths is the following: that Denmark is elected the #1 digitized country in Europe due to the overall digitization level in both the private and public sector. We have a very high level of trust from the citizens and the ecosystem as a whole. We have a highly organized ecosystem with a history of collaboration. We have some world-class facilities and real-life demo sites. We have world-class digital infrastructure and a very large public sector. And recently, all the municipalities, they're almost done with their climate action plans and the catalogs that describes all the aspects of the green transition where technology and AR are in focus. And the industry has also signed a climate partnership also describing all the aspects of the green transition. So at this point, we should actually be able to see some of the overlaps. So now we just need to align them. And after we have done this, we would actually have some kind of starting point to begin with. And we know we have the backup to start with that. As a consequence of this, we are aiming for a strong triple helix ecosystem approach with a very strong connection to the public sector, using the green public procurement as a driver and focusing on the demand side. So this is the key partners so far we've been discussing with. We have quite a few more, but they're in the outer layer of this. So now we have the ecosystem set up and we know our unique value proposition into the TEF. So the next question for us is how to organize this work. And based on the strongholds that I mentioned before, we found that the organicity experimentation as a service framework would actually fit our needs in a Danish TEF. So this framework is tested in Denmark before, as well as in other places in Europe, and it will offer a methodology that utilizes the ecosystem and supports the development of trustworthy AI. So next step is to build the cross-European consortium and keep the national stakeholders ready for this. And I guess this might sound quite simple, but I don't see any reason for overcomplicating this, and we're quite sure that it will get hard at some point. So this is more or less the Danish TEF so far, and thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Morten. Very useful information. Thanks a lot for that. Now we go to Andrea Lampe and Samo Zorc. Andrea Lampen is working for the ICT Association of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Slovenia, where she is head of the ICT Innovation Network. This is a network of companies, universities, and institutes that focus on ICT disruptive technology areas as part of the Slovenian Smart Specialization Strategy. She is also the founder and vice president of the AI for SI initiative, which is AI for Slovenia, and she is a member of the steering board of the European AI Forum. She also coordinates the European Gaia-X Smart Cities and Communities work group. She will share a slot with Samo Zorc, who is a computer scientist professional with a long experience in research, software engineering, and government strategic planning and execution. In the last year, he has participated in activities related to AI under the Slovenian presidency of the Council of the EU, including related to the regulation of AI. Andrea and Samo, the floor is yours.
Hello to all. I suggest, since the policy framework is really important, that Samo would start our presentation. Samo?
Okay, I will just share it. Please let me know if you see the presentation.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So my name is Samo Zorc. I'm coming from the government of Slovenia, responsible for AI activities and planning. I will just show you a bit of our policy context where we put AI, and within this context also the test experimentation facilities. So please allow me just to go through quickly through the presentation, and then Andrea will continue with more explanation of the stakeholders' activities. So let me first start. As you know, EU has large activities on AI, and within these national strategies are prepared at the national level. This is why Slovenia also prepared its national program for AI, which exists in a different policy mix of different strategic environment in Slovenia. What is important is that there are many sectorial strategies within Slovenia, but this national program, so NPUE, actually tries to horizontally cover AI situation in all this strategic environment. Just to understand, so our national strategic program is developed until 2025 and has 10 different strategic objectives. What is important from the TIF context, for example, are those that are related to direct support actions, which relate mostly in the strategic goal 3, 4, and 5. So support for AI research, uptake, and then the infrastructure. It is a bit more easy to understand from this picture. These are areas of action. So this is TIFs are kind of related to direct support actions, but then obviously related also to building preparation and environment, correct environment for the research and uptake of the AI in Slovenia. What you can note is that in Slovenia we have a selected couple of priority areas. We want to go to implement something called reference implementation projects. And these are all also related to TEF, as we are building the national program, in line with strategic orientations on the EU level. So as you can see, there is health industry, there is sustainable food, so agriculture, space planning, public administration, and what is important also for us is language technologies, which is not part of the TIF activities. So how do they relate to specific parts of the innovation? So the whole concept of the AI national plan is related to innovation diffusion. So we feel we have quite a lot of AI knowledge getting from 40 years of research experience in Slovenia dedicated to AI, and now we want to diffuse it in the real life. As you can see, the TIFs are there somewhere between early adopters, early majority, so to help the developing technologies, but then to help the implementers, early majority stakeholders, to really try to use it and have the use case. So as I said, our national plan from the direct perspective actions is kind of limited to the reference implementation projects, and we don't really want to. So it's not part of the national program to finance large-scale deployment all over. This is then part of the sectorial strategies and activities. At the end, just to understand our stakeholders ecosystem, so we have quite strong research part with associations dedicated to AI, to language technologies, and pattern recognition. Then, as Andrea mentioned, we have AI associations, AI for Slovenia Association, which is part of the EU Forum of the associations, which gather mostly innovative companies. But what is important is that we also cover the sectorial, let's say, innovation ecosystem. We have so-called strategic research innovation partnership also at the national level, where there's factories of future, smart networks, smart cities, and covered by ICT horizontal network that Andrea is representing. And this is the stakeholder part where we want to now to develop and prepare also for TIFs. And we are in the process of building up the stakeholders to understand what kind of TIF and what kind of either node or participation satellite node we want to have, and we want to participate at the TIFs Digital Europe call. So this is in short from my side, and please, Andrea, if you can complement with activities. Thank you.
Somehow I'm not able to share my screen at the moment. But
try now.
Yes, of course, it works now. Thank you. Not to repeat ourselves, we are basing our activities on the vision of Slovenia. We want to become referential country for smart cities and communities area, and on the data segment, I would say we did a few really good steps. We have in place the strategy and policy framework Samo was already explaining. What is really important is that we have a working ecosystem focusing on the smart cities and communities, and also on the digital technologies as AI, and of course also data. Within the smart specialization partnerships, Samo was also mentioning, we do have academia, industry, public sector and municipalities, stakeholders engaged for more than 6 years now. So there is, let's say, a fusion of ideas already there. I would say from there that we have stakeholders ready to engage, as some would say. Municipalities, towns associations, work group within Slovenian Digital Coalition, focusing on the smart cities and communities. The Slovenian government had a really good initiative about bringing together smart cities and communities and start building interoperable digital solutions. And through that, there are really big attention within the smart cities and communities ecosystem to start building up the digital solutions and to start thinking about the interoperability, to start thinking about how to use digital technologies for their operations, for good of their citizens, for building digital economy. And I would say we could really nicely build TEFs on that, as municipalities are aware this is really important, and the trustworthiness and transparency of the digital solutions is really important to them. So they are really interested in having being at the steering wheel of testing the digital solutions, let's say. We also have very active and export-oriented digital sector, let's say digital cluster, for example. We have also the HPC infrastructures like supercomputer Vega, which is one of the top worldwide HPCs. And of course, through our activities on the AI side, we are covering, we are working together with AI associations of startups and scale-ups from the 9 different member states. We call this European AI Forum. So we do have coverage in those countries. We would like...
Andrea, may I just interject? Could you start wrapping up, because
yes,
we need to also leave a little bit of time for our last speaker. Thanks.
So we are building on existing initiatives in Slovenia and in the European area, like national standardization and harmonization on the smart cities and communities data, international ones, like we heard on this event a lot about, on the existing excellence of Slovenian AI ecosystem. And not lastly, Slovenia is positioned in the heart of Europe, so it could offer really good coverage to the neighboring or other countries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Samo and Andrea. Really good to hear what Slovenia has in mind there. So now for our last speaker, which is Ramon Ferri, who from 2007 to 2018 has been responsible for the IT service of the Valencia City Council and has been the technical manager of the Valencia Smart City Strategy. And since 2018, he has been the Smart City Officer of the City of Valencia, and he's responsible for coordinating the digital transformation in the field of the Smart City. Currently, he also coordinates the thematic group of Smart City platforms of the U4SSC initiative. Ramon, welcome. The floor is yours. Ramon, are you here? Oh, are we missing Ramon? Well, I have the impression that we're missing a panelist. Well, maybe if he still pops up, he can still join the session. There's somebody from OASC present in the session? No. If not, well, maybe some.
Tanguy, I think in fact that Ramon is there. Just checking with the team if he's given the rights to the watch. I think I saw him. Maybe give him a minute because I did see him before. Sorry.
Yeah, so did I. So I'm a bit surprised. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Back to you, Tanguy. We'll try and support. Thanks.
Yes, thanks a lot, Martin. Yeah, so just going back to Jan, a question, of course, the TEF program is very interesting, but there is this requirement for co-funding, co-finance, and you've indicated that there are a number of well, possible funding options like governmental funding or private funding. Are there certain funding sources that would not be okay for the co-funding of such a program or a proposal?
So the preferred, let's say, the easiest solution for co-funding is that a member state, national or regional or municipal funds will be used from public bodies. This is the easiest way and doesn't lead to any, let's say, complicated issues administrative-wise. Then the other, as I said, again, so there's public, let me say within public funding, then there's of course EU funding using synergy funds, and there what we're still discussing some issues well, maybe this is not relevant for smart cities, but we're still trying to see whether agricultural funds can be used. RIF, that is possible as long as member states have sort of included them in their plans, in their national plans. So then sort of that EU funding can be used for the other 50%, so not the 50% from the Digital Euro program. And then there's also works, I think the working on a solution with ERDF funds as well to use for the other 50%. I think more details I will not be able to give today, but as I said already, we're planning this info day at the end of February, where we'll present this as well, because this is obviously for member states, but also for the consortium itself very important. And so there, I think you'll get more answers because we're still sort of ironing out a few things, but I think there was a solution was found. And then so there was the public funding stream, and as I said, private funding is possible, but then I think what I said before is true again. This is a common resource, so some policies need to be put in place to make sure that, you know, technology providers do trust the TEFs, that they can just, you know, use them to develop their solutions further. But that's then really for and so these measures need to be put in place. So I think that's all I can say for now, and more is then on the 28th of February to be confirmed. But that's what we're working on. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Jan. That's very insightful. I think we've found Ramon. Ramon, I saw your screen pop up, so the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for the. Okay, so now can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you very much to give us the possibility to explain our Spanish steps, smart and sustainable cities. So we are just waiting for the national contact point to receive the mandate to be able to collaborate with them in order to have interest in the call. So yesterday we had a meeting with our Ministry of the Digital Agenda in order to be able to express our intention, our interest on being these testing and experimentation facilities on smart and sustainable cities. So I'm going to explain you why we want to be one of the nodes of this test on smart cities. So Valencia has a strong digital transition journey. So we have more than 4 smart city plans and digital transition plans from in order to comply with the commitments of the city to be electronic rights of citizens, to be a smart sustainable city, to be a convergent agenda, and of course in the urban agenda. So we have made successful plans concerning electronic administration of smart cities. And now we are focused how the ICT can help the city to comply with the missions of Valencia. The first one is the climate neutral. So the other strong point for Valencia is that we have from 2018, we have a smart office with more than 20 people. So working on different areas concerning the smart city. So we have concrete competencies on connectivity, on the transformation of non-administrative services. So we are introducing smart clauses in more than 50 public tenders. So we are really committed with the standards. So then we have a good smart governance because we are just providing these digital transitions to all the cities. Also, we have a strong point is that we are now a really integrated city core IT with electronic administration platform, urban data platform, geographical information system, and corporate databases.
Ramon, may I just interject? Is it possible that you are already moving beyond your title screen, or are you still working on your title screen because we don't see your slides move? But you're still on slide 1, or are you?
No, I have another one.
Because we don't see your slides move. So if you would expect them to move, then this is not happening in our perspective.
So, sorry, I try again then. Can you see now?
Yes, could you try moving the slides?
I was in this one.
Ah, yeah, but that we didn't see yet. So maybe it's good. Could you like put it on presenter mode? Then maybe that's
okay.
Way to...
Okay, so sorry. So then, as I told you, we have a good digital transition journey. So we have a strong organization with a smart office and with a smart governance. So then we have a really integrated core IT city. So then we have a lot of solutions concerning the smart services around this integrated. So we have a dashboard for citizens, dashboard for managers. So then we have a government portal, participation portal. We have a city app, and then we are able to provide big data and artificial intelligence studies and so on. So the other strong point is that we have a clear roadmap for a digital twin architecture. So we are trying to converge our geographical information system and the urban platform. So then we have a clear roadmap on that. And then we have a really massive IoT deployment. So we have more than 200 buildings, museums, colleges, markets, and so on, with a lot of sensorized buildings. So we have a lot of IoT on mobility with more than 1,000 sensors for parking, on reducing mobility and charge and discharge and taxis. And then we have noise sensors, we have pollution sensors, and so on. So I think that with all this information together, we are able to work really difficult challenges. So we are a number of topics concerning smart cities. So we are working on, for example, accident prevention. So we are really taking sensors from 4 bands. So we are able to study and cross information concerning sinistrality and driving. So we are able to see that accidents in the city overlap with critical driving data. And then we want to close the circle. So we are integrating our city app with the smart device link libraries of the vehicles console. So we are able to interchange information in real time. Another topic is that citizen behavior analysis. So we are really interested on to see how social activity in the city is. So in order to make projection based on activities from social networks. In this case, we work with the UPV, University Polytechnic of Valencia, concerning data based on spatial location, social interaction among users, and emotional load of the text. We are really interested on big data studies on mobility models, in fact, concerning tourism and commerce. And then we have made the integration between our urban data platform and mobile network information concerning how the people are moving in the city concerning age or gender or country of origin and so on. So we are really focused on how we can improve tourism and commerce. And also we are studying the introduction on bike lanes and how this introduction of bike lanes can imply with road traffic, and of course how the meteorological aspects can imply with this, with all the storage on that. And the last one that we are working on is concerning pollution levels and road traffic monitoring. So it's a good formula where we are providing real-time data concerning pollution and road traffic monitoring. We gave this to the Polytechnic, University of Valencia. They take another information from a ministry and so on. They are able to perform algorithms in order to see how is the simulation and prediction of these low emissions. And then we are able to pass the information to the mobility service in order to take actions concerning the real-time information. And at the end, the enabling factors for Spanish testing and experimentation facilities for smart and sustainable cities, that then we are working with artificial intelligence excellence leadership. So we are working with the UPV, that is the best technical university in Spain in Shanghai ranking. They have a lot of institutes working on digital hubs, and what we are, the commitment is to work with a flagship artificial intelligence center, that is the Valencia Research Institute for Artificial Intelligence, with more than 120 staff members. So they are also a member of the European Network of Excellence Research Centers. So we have a strong regional ecosystem in our public tender or a smart city platform. We are going to deploy 6 instances of our urban data platforms in order to open innovation for European stakeholders and academia. We are committed with the regional government to have a facility for open innovation in smart and sustainable cities in Valencia also. We are one of the cities candidates for 100 European climate neutral cities. And then we have just signed this week with the UPV in order to have a living lab for climate neutral city commitment and a smart and sustainable city. And at the end, we are clear, identify buildings in the marina to house this test Geo Living Lab in smart cities. And we have a strong commitment with Telefonica and his cybersecurity center in IoT and a smart city that is also in the marina zone. We have also the national support, so we are coordinating the digitalization and our artificial intelligence group of our Spanish network of smart cities. So we have the nodes that are going to work with us with cities of Spain. We are working with this Spanish network of smart cities with a next generation project concerning the national interoperable urban intelligence system that is going to complement with this test. It's going to complement this test. So we want and we expect to be the Spain Resilience and Recovery Funds node on smart cities in Valencia. We are also coordinating the indicators and semantic group of the Smart Cities Standardization Committee in Spain. And we have already have an interoperability between different city platforms with, for example, cities like Rota, Logroño, or our provincial government of Valencia. So we are really interchange sharing information concerning IoT and so on. And last but not least, we have international cooperation on smart cities. So we are coordinating the thematic group on city platform of the United for Smart and Sustainable Cities. Yes, we are finalizing the working group 3 with a new deliverable of new architecture for sustainable digital development that is led by OAS. And then we are just starting a city platform implementation guide to provide cities around the world the way to follow a smart sustainable city. And by the end, we are coordinating a MATSAP project that is one of the Smart City Lighthouse projects on Horizons 2020. And that's all. Sorry for the presentation.
Thanks a lot, Ramon. Great to hear all these cool plans from Valencia. Okay, so I think that's what we have time for today. There are no questions from the audience, so well, no things to be asked there. With that, I would like to thank OAS for organizing the festival and also this very interesting session, and all the speakers for their interesting collaboration. I would also like to say that we will now have a 30-minute break, and the next session will be